All right, Math 8, I have already been talking. So for anyone who's missing class, here's your homework for the first 3 days of the week. I'm not sure about Thursday, Friday, so that is TBD, so you don't need to write anything there yet. Homework. 111 through 113 were collected Friday. If you did not turn in any of those, you should turn them in when you are able to, as soon as you can. Truth told, I have not gotten the chance to look at all of them yet. They're sorted. I've read through your 111s. Interesting stuff I find out about you guys from there, like who likes to collect bones and skulls and who likes to do martial arts and different things like that. So, like I said, I'm going to keep those. I forget if I told you guys that or not. I'm going to pass those around to the other teachers so they get to read those cool things. So I don't just have to be like, oh yeah, I read in Gust's thing. That's too hard. That's too, we know that Gus bakes bread or whatever. Like,
I don't break. His mom does.
Bring us bread.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So, I'm keeping 111, unless you really want it back, which I don't really know why you would.
Was it good?
Huh?
Was it good?
Of course it is. Come on. Well, it's always going to be better than store-bought, because there's love baked into it.
No! That's actually MSG.
That's actually bad for your colon. So, we're now going to start collecting homework once a week. On Thursday, I will ask you for, if you're done with the work we've done already, turn it in. But if you need to turn it in by Friday, so I can grade it over the weekend. I do not want... You done?
Possibly.
I can wait. Because I need you listening to me.
Okay, good.
Excuse me, can I have Isabella Fontana Rosa to the office, please?
So, the packet I just gave you has 3 homeworks in it. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right? So by Thursday, they should be done. If they're not done, okay, get it done by Friday. Right? I plan to grade on the weekends. This weekend was very busy. So not done with it quite yet. Other questions? We're going to talk about box and whisker plot. We're going to look at your homework answers. So we're going to talk about both those things already.
Is it count as late if you turn it in on Friday?
No. Yeah, Friday is really when it's due, but I make a first call on Thursdays, especially because sometimes kids are gone on Fridays, like families go on trips or whatever. So I already know of a couple kids who are going to be gone this Friday, so they should turn their homework in on Thursday. You know what I mean? Yes.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Number 1 is, if you use your homework but you use scrap paper, you have to turn that in with it.
Yeah, so sometimes on the homework, I think one of these says you will need graph paper to complete this assignment. You'll need graph paper to do that, and then you turn that in with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a multiplication problem, if you have an extra paper.
You can just write on here. You can write your work on here, guys. So you can write whatever you want on here. I know some teachers are like, only answers go on this. I think that's malarkey. I want to see as much work as possible. So write your work on here. Yes.
I can use the more.
Thanks. Much appreciated.
Good word. Needs to be used more.
Much obliged.
Shenanigans is also a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Box and whisker plots.
What should Baka do?
10.
No, that's not a word.
Alright, so I'm going to walk around and collect your cards so I don't forget, because we just got brand new decks of cards. So if this is in your mouth or in your binder, please get it out.
Oh, you're 0.
Yeah, well, 7. Just keep it, Matt. I think I'm going to do the same thing with Math 7 when they come in.
Are these our signs?
No, this is just for today. So we might do this every day. You guys might come in and be allowed to pick where you sit. Already messing up this deck of cards. Alright, you guys want to see magic here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, can I show you a magic
Oh,
trick?
yeah.
Watch as I make this disappear.
Also, what's your natural magic trick?
I am sorry, but we won't have the time for that unless we then get through the lesson quickly enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's our goal then.
I
So-
here.
Guys, there's no such thing as magic.
It's just illusions.
No, there's belief in yourself. Right? So, what magic really comes down to is just believing in yourself. So, I have a feeling, Nevin, do you think you're magic? So make sure that everyone in the class gets to see it. So I'll turn around, I'll like hide against the wall.
Ooh, good card.
Oh! It's a nice card there.
It's a
Devin.
purple 13. Now, okay, so, you ready? Alright, just put it back in here. Alright, now, Nevin made it a little bit easy because it's kind of close to the top, so I'm going to shuffle this a lot. Right, so,
You shouldn't shuffle it.
I shouldn't shuffle it.
No, someone else should shuffle it.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll shuffle it. I'm gonna
That's
shuffle
how
it.
magic works.
Well, actually, sure. Now, here's the thing about Nevin being magic. Actually, he already did the magic because he just touched the deck. So, Nevin, do you believe in yourself? A little bit? I need you to believe more.
Well, that was your first.
I need you to believe more. Say, I believe!
I believe bears.
You believe in fairies? Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so we need some fairies then.
Oh.
Alright, fairies. They did their work. Nevin, your card is the King of Clubs.
Wait,
I knew it.
Wait,
I
no.
know
Go
how.
to the bottom.
I know
Alright,
how.
time for math. Time for math.
I know how.
No, we're moving on. Guys, the only way I can do that is if we can now move on. Otherwise, that's going to be the only time we do something like that this year. So the question is, can we move on and do math now? If not, it'll be rude. So, moving on, Fox and Whisker Plots were part of your homework. This seems confusing for a lot of us. It all depends on what teacher you had last year, right? Like how much you've seen this or not. A Fox and Whisker Plot is a fancy way of saying find the median, then find another median, and find another median.
And then find the highest and lowest.
Yeah, that's it. So here's how we box and whisker. This is the median of the data set. And if you need more help, come see me, like at extensions. Like after I get done with this explanation, if you still need more help about box and whisker. When we find that median, it's gone now. We remove it from our set of numbers. That breaks, removing that number, breaks our data into two sets. Lower set, higher set. And this goes back to the shoe size problem. I then find the median again, but of the lower set, and that goes here. I find the median of the higher set, and that goes here.
This is the lowest.
That's it.
Higher quartiles.
So that's the lowest value that I have. That's the highest value that I have. So I had some people bring me their homework and say, well, where do I draw my middle line? Well, you should know that because you should actually draw your number line first and then put your box plot on the number line. So if you didn't do that, that's okay. But what your homework should actually look like, I'm going to show you here your answer in a second.
Wait, can you share us the video that you showed us on Friday?
No.
Share us that. Okay.
Wait, what?
So from 114, that box plot, I can make this bigger if we need.
Oh, you're supposed to do boxing.
Your lowest shoe size was 6.
Our highest is 10.
Your first quartile would have been 7.5. Median would be 8. Second quartile would be 8.5. And the third quartile, the maximum, third quartile is 8.5. Maximum would have been 10. So this is 114. It should be done. We should have it out to check answers. Yes.
So, I need a bar graph.
Yeah, so you just misunderstood. So it's up, don't do any extra work. So this is one of those situations where I'm here to make your life easier. There's a box plot on tonight's homework. Just make sure you do a box plot on tonight's homework.
Okay.
Does that work? Yeah, because I just need to know that you know how to do a box plot. Next.
Is this supposed to be turned in today?
No. Why would it be turned in if we're going over it? You're supposed to have this in your possession today. If it's not done, womp womp, you have work to do.
Wait.
Right?
Was this the one we did on?
It was assigned initially as Wednesday's homework. We really got to it on Wednesday into Thursday.
For a second, I thought you assigned homework on Friday.
Well, I showed you guys the next homework, but it's also today's homework.
I'm rewriting it.
I already
I already did it all. Answers just a little messy, so I'm going to make it
I already turned it in.
Any questions from 114? We really only need to leave this up here for not that long, because you can always go to the YouTube video and look at the answers. Which, guys, I know that, which is why you cannot turn in just answers. You gotta have some work to go with it. I gotta see your thought process. Justin.
What's 114? When do we turn it in? Thursday.
You'll turn it in this Thursday, Friday.
Alright.
So that will get stapled with the packet I just gave you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, does the video with the answers?
There will be once this video goes live.
Oh.
So if we haven't talked about this yet, I guess that's a point to talk about. Mr. Hudson has a YouTube. Well, so does everybody, actually. If you have a Google, you have a YouTube. So guys, if you miss class for any reason, you can search Micah Hudson. Yeah, that's my first name. I'm the math thingy. And then, like last week, boop, Math 8, proportional relationships.
You should make all your students
It's
subscribe to you.
32 point.
Yes, he already has 300 subscribers, basically.
So you see what you see up on the screen, and you hopefully hear what's going on in the classroom and not just the chaos of too many people talking. So if you missed class for any reason, or you need to go back and see the answers again, go back and reference the video. Here are our diamonds. So you need to see the diamonds.
I like the diamonds. Diamonds are really easy and fun.
Diamonds are fun.
Hey, easy's a bad word.
Oh no, I'm just question.
There's 33 and 34.
They're not easy, they're not.
Diamonds are a simple challenge that still work your brain without.
There's 35 through 40.
That works your brain hard enough that you have to actually use it, but you don't work it so hard that you have a mental breakdown.
And
Question.
we,
Mr.
yeah.
Hudson. Do you make all your students subscribe to it?
Nope,
You
do
could
not
do
care
that
at all. I
and
was trying to ignore that question because I feel like it is not a useful use of our time right now.
But you can get
So
money if
moving
you get
on.
subscribers.
Moving on.
Mr. Hudson, I accidentally left my homework at home. Can I go to the YouTube video and check the answers?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever works for you.
Thank you.
Moving on, everybody should have graph paper out. I don't know why, barely any of us do. We've been in school for like 11 days now. Every day of class has been identical. We always take notes on graph paper.
No, we were taking notes.
Max, can you please try to adjust your behavior a little bit right now? I need you to focus because we have a lot to cover. Like, I feel like you're asking silly questions. I feel like you're just trying to be silly.
I'm not. I actually are taking notes because I have a notebook for notes. My graph paper I use for like questions I made for notes.
We're doing the same thing we've done every math class, which is we're going to discuss math, we're going to write things down about math, and we're going to solve some math.
Oh.
So wherever you want to do that, I don't care. Okay, whether it's in your notebook or on graph paper. Are we good? Okay, because guys, I don't care where you write your notes, but I care that you do write them.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, so if you still have last week's notes page, you can continue writing on that. Right? So if you still have last week's page, you may continue writing on that. So, guys, the reason I did the groups today like I did was to get you talking with some other people that you maybe don't know yet or maybe you haven't worked with yet. So, after we intro the problem, one of the first things you're going to want to do,
Hi.
one of the first things you're going to do is make sure you know each other. So if you don't know names, that'll be a start.
What's your name?
Okay, so
Aiden?
I don't quite know what to do. So we might need to like pause and figure this out. I don't want to waste everybody's time, but it's not appropriate for me to talk while other people are talking. And I keep running into this issue of with masks, it's really hard for me to tell when other people are talking until I like take a breath and then I hear you. And like then I feel like, well crap, what do I do? And so I need you guys to tell me what to do. Do I keep waiting? Do we like address the nail on the head and start calling people out? Do we what do we need to do? But I can't, we're way far into class time and we've answered no questions. I need some help. I mean, and this is wasting time right now.
Wait until people start talking about like off-topic things, or it just gets too long, and then be like, we need to get into class time.
Did you just start class right now?
I tried to start class like 10 minutes ago. and it seems like people didn't care. Some people cared. Some people are ready to learn. Other people are still carrying on side conversations, and every time I start talking, they start talking. So, I feel like maybe this is what needed to happen, is we all realize, like, not to say the honeymoon's over and it's time to get serious, because, like, I think we've been serious, some. I've been assigning homework the whole time, but I think some of you are getting confused about what's appropriate and not, and need a reminder. So, I'm the teacher in this classroom. If you'd like to become a teacher, do it. It's pretty fun. But when I'm talking, you shouldn't be, right? And I feel silly saying this, but it sounds like some of you need reminded. If you have something to say, what should you do? Yeah, that! Raise your hand. Perfect example. Thank you so much. And then we can get class done and have more time for, like, enjoyable things, or getting your homework done, or, like, more magic tricks, or jokes, or, like, whatever. Because we've been in this room for almost 20 minutes now, and all I've done is get frustrated. And, like, get you guys to sit in random groups. This is not how class should go. And we're not going to have this issue all year long, so we're going to address it and fix it and be able to move forward. So let's try this again. When I'm done explaining what we're doing, make sure you know each other. Then you're going to write down on your notes, you are going to write down on your notes what is needed to solve these problems. If you need to open your book, you can. If you just want to look up here, that's totally fine. So the first problem we have is talking about Doug and Johnny, right? So we're not just talking about Doug. When I release you to work with each other, there's no, like, oh, we can't go past that. Unless I say don't go past that, you can keep going. So if you answer this first question about Doug, you then move on and look at the part with Johnny. Okay, so you very well may need a book, especially because then, you know, my screen gets a little off here. Then we'll come back together. I will randomly ask for people from groups, so decide who's going to talk. If your group gets called on, decide who's going to talk and share. And then we'll move on to the next one.
No. Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're finding out what is Doug getting paid. Then you're going to compare who makes more, Doug or Johnny. And we're going to talk about each of their unit rates. And if you're not quite sure what a unit rate is, chat with your group, or we'll talk about it in just a moment. I will walk around and take questions. And obviously, I'm just checking, are you writing anything down? Are you doing math?
Not yet. We will. What's your name, Jordan? I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
It'll be a year to figure out math.
This is proportional relationships. It's the same thing. You can continue. Or you can borrow. There's a couple honors up here. You can borrow it and put it back. There's at least one. And you got the other one over here.
Math.
You can borrow mine.
Doug regularly notices last month, Doug's neighbors paid him $55 for 6 hours. Holy cow, penny books. Okay. Is this situation most social proportional? How do you know? Yes, because it's probably based on per hour. Okay.
So we should be copying a T-chart table onto our notes. You do not have to copy that graph that they have, but that T-chart you should copy. So the thing I have in the purple square. Now, what did we say last week? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. You might want to check your notes because you should have two things written down for proportional. What does it take for things to be proportional? Give me one, Aiden.
When one increases, another one has to increase.
Yeah, but we've got to be even more specific than that. So you're right, but it's even more specific than that.
I know when it starts at the 0, 0.
Yeah, it starts at the origin, so let's look at that first. Would 0 time earn $0?
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? Why would you get paid for doing nothing? Then, well, crap, we only have one amount of, like, time and money. Crap, wait, what was the other thing we need to be proportional? That second thing we said, we start at the
It
origin.
needs to also continually be a straight line, and it cannot ever bend.
Like, be like a straight line, right? Kind of like what we see down here for for Johnny.
Johnny Test.
So what I want you guys to do real quick with your groups, figure out what does he make every 1 hour? Right? What does Doug make every 1 hour? How can we figure that out? Alright.
Divide by 2.
But I have to start by dividing
Would that be 11?
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
I'd do a little less now.
And then would you do work for that pay? Would you do work for that
Yes.
pay?
For 6 hours, I would do it for $5 per hour.
Yeah, absolutely can use a calculator. Aren't we said calculators are good? You like calculators.
That's a very nice calculator. My grandma had one because she's a teacher. She's a math teacher, so I've got an old yellow one. You can write on mine. Like, you can write afterwards.
What does per tell us to do?
Oh!
Shout it out. What's per tell us to do? We divide or make a fraction. So if we want to figure out the dollars per hour they make, we do 55 divided by 9. Sorry, not 9. 6. And then we got $9. And if we round, I think it comes out to be, we would round up. So about $9 an hour. Did you mow grass for this money?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it mowing grass? Yeah, Moses neighbor's yard.
1 hour for $9?
Alright, wait. So Johnny comes up. And guys, you can send somebody up here if you need. Johnny comes up and says, yo, I make more than you do, Doug. And Doug's like, well, I'm not sure. And Johnny, because everyone walks around with a graph of what they make, says, here's a graph of what I make. And Doug's like, you're a weirdo. Okay. So you guys decide. Who makes more, Johnny or Doug? Johnny's a weirdo, but...
See what that what's
So,
18.
How would we write it down? What's
I do not know what you have hit. You can always hit second, quit, second, quit, second, quit, second, quit. It'll take us back to the menu. Second, quit. Actually, I think it's second mode, but it is the quit function. You what?
I just don't have a. I have one of those. I can't use it. It's very confusing. How do you calculator?
Okay, yeah, you don't need that till high school now.
Okay, so 9. Is that till next year?
Next year you'll be taking high school math, so you'll need it next year probably. All right, my group in the back. I don't know who's talking, but who makes more, Johnny or Doug? Johnny, how'd you figure that out?
Johnny found out what Doug's was. So he thought he was just $20 at 2 hours. So we could divide that by 2.
So actually, it looks like he's a little bit more than 20. Right? So actually, you're right, but this almost, it's like 22, 23, something like that. 22 would be nice to work with. So, if they, and Malachi's absolutely right, if we take $22, and how many hours did you say? And do the division like we just did, what do we get? $11 an hour. Yep. Can you?
Yes, he can.
It's actually 25
Is it?
because 4 goes to 50.
Ah, there's a nicer point. So guys, Nevin realized one of these points is unlike the other, right? And it's nice. There's only one, what I would consider nice point up here. And guys, I use the word like nice or not nice a lot this year. Like, fractions are nice, repeating decimals aren't, right? Like, certain things are nicer than other things because they're easier to work with. Nevin's point here at 50 is like way more accurate. Because if we look, it actually crosses pretty well. The only reason it looks slightly off is because I zoomed in and it gets a little pixel messed up when you zoom in on certain things.
On the book, it's a little off too.
Is it? Okay, maybe, yeah, maybe it's just the book.
Maybe it's just printing.
That's true.
Alright, so, Feroza's pet ferret. Anyone have a pet ferret?
Not
My
me.
sister always
My
wanted
cousins
one.
do. All three of my cousins do.
Yeah, are they, like, do they smell? I
My
don't think they
uncle
smell.
had 5 ferrets
Well,
and
they
they
just-
smelled.
So,
I'm a smell
who's got a dog?
I would smell too.
So, guys, I don't know, and this is genuine, I don't know what you know or not. Have you gone and looked at pet food with your parents? Like, do you pay attention to prices at the store?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you compare a 10-pound, and I need someone to raise a hand and tell us about this. If you compare a 10-pound bag of food to a 30-pound bag of food, of the same food, can anyone tell me what you would expect of like 10 versus 30 and which one you might buy? Like, I have 4 dogs, so which one I might buy? What do we think?
I would definitely buy the bigger one because the bigger one, like the smaller one, costs less, but if it was the same size, it would cost more.
What do you mean? It costs less, but it would cost more?
Yeah, if 5 pounds was as big as 30 pounds, it'd cost more.
Why?
It was the same cost.
What do we often do in America?
We often take race. We often make people
There's this little
less
three.
money.
There's this little 3-word thing where people are always like, buy in. Yeah, we get people to buy in bulk. And we say, well, if you buy like a lot more, we'll cut the price down a little bit. Right? So hands down for a second. So here's your task. With Feroza's ferret's food. Feroza's ferret's food. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, so the more mature of us in here realize that was, a not really. The less mature of us decided to actually do it. So figure it out. Is this better to buy the 30 pounds versus the 5 pounds, or is it all the same? Does it not matter? So you guys, as a group, analyze the 2 different pricing models. What do you think?
You said 3 times 7. You said 3.50 times 7. 17.50 times 7. Okay, 1, 2, 2. Hey,
Come with me, math.
Yeah, tax doesn't. So, I mean, if it didn't matter what flavor you wanted, then I'd probably I don't know. I would just buy the 30 unless if they're
Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. 5 pounds versus
Oh, we have to make a graph first. Oh, dang. Forgot to do that. I really just skipped.
and that's 3.5. So they're the same thing.
In your notes, or wherever you're writing, unit price, because guys, we're going to do this like a million times this year. And yeah, that's probably an exaggeration, but it might not be. You do unit price all the time. Unit price is always calculated price divided by quantity. So super short, like I'm here to make your life easier. I'm not going to make you guys write things that you don't need, because it's always price divided by quantity. The way people will goof this up is they accidentally flip this over, and you grab the amount and divide it by the price, and that is actually the how many you could get for $1. Right? If you put the dollars on bottom, you actually end up calculating how many you could get for $1. Which sometimes you do want to know, like, what could I buy with my $1? So what did we find out when we did the calculations? What did we find out?
They're the same. Either way, buying both, then you might end up actually wasting.
What do you mean they're the same? What is the same? Because they're not the same, right? One's 5, one's 30.
Yes, but if you were, when you multiplied 5 times 6, which is how much, when you multiply 17.5 times 6, which is how much it would take, which is, same as 30 divided by 5, then you get, 105, which is the same as the price. So either, when you, if you have, say, a dog who eats a lot, then you might want to get a 30-pound bag, but if you have like a chihuahua or something, why would you have to do this?
What?
They're well, that was, they're exactly
I'm with you. I agree with you. I got 4 big dogs. So what was our unit price here? What was the price for 1 pound? Shout it out.
$17.50.
Ooh.
No, not 1750.
Ooh, wait, no, that was for 5 pounds.
Oh, wait.
Ooh.
3.5.
What is it?
3.5.
Ah, that's how we say it right. $3.50.
Sorry, guys.
$3.5. People don't talk like that.
So, shouldn't it be, the $30 is more basically because of tax? And $30 is less?
Ooh.
30 pounds is less because 5 pounds?
I bet I get to drop some knowledge on you here. Interesting thing. Tax. Is everything taxed?
No.
What isn't taxed?
I think like some $9.
Evan? Food. Food is not taxed. Put your mask on, Max. Food is not taxed. But dog food is not people food. Dog food gets taxed. But there's a lot of buts in here. Approximately 25. But tax is a percentage. Right? So if, and like our tax rate around here is about 7.5%.
That's a lot.
So if we think about the tax, like amount, like dollars, he's got a point. The tax on the bigger bag will be more, but it's proportionally more. So it's like the price, how both of these are the same. The tax on them would be the same because it would all be 7.5%, right? Since it's all based off percentages, it doesn't really make a difference.
It's something that store people usually like to do because sometimes they make the bigger amounts cost more, and other times you're better off buying a bunch of the little ones.
Yeah, so this is exactly the point I was about to get to, guys. The people that make more money than us and the people that control things, they think we're all stupid. And well, right now we kind of are, and I am just kind of stuck at stupid. But we're not, right? Because you get to learn, and you get to learn from us. They know that we know, but they don't know that we know that they know that we know.
What?
So here's what we know. Here's what we know. We know that traditionally the bigger bag gets cheaper, right? Not actually, because it is, you pay more, but you get a better deal, right? Now, companies have flipped that around, is what Aiden's saying. And he said, if you don't do the math, what these companies are now doing, guys, is if you don't pay attention, they'll make it be like $120. But they make the math complicated, so instead of like 30 pounds, they'll do like 29 pounds, and you're not going to divide by 29 standing in the grocery store.
Bring your calculator to the.
You don't have to. On most grocery store or like whatever, the unit price is on the tag.
No.
Because if you just aren't a lemming and just like walking around blind to the world, if you open your eyes up and you look at on the sticker, next time you're at Kroger or wherever you shop, I want you to pay attention. The sticker tells you the unit price. You don't have to do the math. You can stand there in the aisle and say 28 cents per ounce, 26 cents per ounce. And guys, the smaller containers are sometimes cheaper now because they know. Like, they know what we know, and they're working against us, guys. They're trying to trick us. Yeah. Yeah, I think gravity got the best of somebody there.
It's just an illusion, man. Open your eyes. The Matrix has you.
Yes.
The benefit for the environment, if
packaging. I agree. So hold up. How we use this? We need to write this down. So please with me. How we use this is now we can make an equation. Now we can make an equation and say the price of her pet food. The price of her pet food. I should see pencils in everyone's hands. Is the unit price. Thank you so much. Is the unit price times the weight. So let's say you went to have you ever been to Fresh Time or a place like that where you literally scooped your own dog food?
Yeah.
Right? Like Fresh Time, you can scoop your own granola, scoop your own nuts. So you literally just walk up to the register and they do multiplication. They say, here's the price on the sticker times however much you got. Always, this is just your unit price.
So that means they can't scan milk at
I mean, they
The farmer's
Yeah, and you can lie at places they're trusting you because normally you write down what you scooped, and they just trust that you're writing down the right price, or they would have to know what it is. But yeah, farmers marketplace like that, they charge per whatever. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They usually charge for meat.
Malachi, what's up?
Stores when you buy meat and it's per pound.
Yep, absolutely. That's the only. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. If you go to the counter, you normally pay per pound. If you buy pre-packaged, it's still probably priced per pound, but sometimes it's 10 burgers for $10, right? That's not really a per pound pricing. Most of the time, it's per pound pricing. Real quick, and then I got to do the last problem.
Meat's usually a lot more than other food.
Yeah. And it ebbs and flows, right? Depends on the season and things like that. So guys, this is what we're working towards, is proportional relationship equations, right? So that tells you, since there's just one thing equals a multiplier times a variable, this is proportional. That is your unit rate, because it's not always a unit price. So here's what I need you to write down. A proportional relationship, and then we're out of here. A proportional relationship will be, and I'm just going to use y and x. Y equals m times x where m is our unit rate. If you know your unit rate, make an equation. Yep. Well, yes, but what is slope? We gotta go into that whole conversation. Because slope is just the unit rate. So if you say unit rate is used for slope, but then slope is we're stuck in an infinite loop.
Now we have to talk about slope and see how that's going to
We'll pick up here tomorrow with this probably as our intro of is this proportional? Is this textile proportional? All right, have a great day, guys. See ya.